Welcome back to The Spotlight. I'm here with television production manager Josh Maxwell, and we're discussing his recent trip to Europe. Anyway, you were saying, as far as your photo journalism production, is this going to go into a master's thesis? Is this something that's going to be published? Are you going to?
Yes, and maybe.
I love the yes and maybe.
Yeah, yes, and maybe. Well, I took the non-thesis track, but this is the reason that I did that was so that I could actually. It's like one time in college, I needed some hours, and my teacher, the professor, said, "Well, I usually make somebody write a 100-page paper," and I was like, "Oh no!" And then I scrolled down the email, and she goes, "But I know where your talent and where your interest lies, so we can think up something that would be a little bit more beneficial to you and to the college."
Right.
So that's kind of what this wasn't the class, but that's kind of the same route that the non-thesis track students take is, hey, I'm going to do something that is like a documentary that can be my thesis for everything.
Cool.
So that's what I'm doing.
As far as mentioning travel, we had talked before the show that you had gone to Scotland. Mm-hmm. Now, you have family, heritage. I heard you were going to go take back your castle. Tell us about that.
Yeah, sort of. Well, the Maxwell name comes from a small town similar to Hopkinsville. It's called Dumfries, Scotland. And it's actually really close to Carlisle, which I know that we had
yes.
last year. Another person went to London. So I planned the trip before I went. CCSA was taking a trip up to Edinburgh, the capital of Scotland, and I didn't want to go on that trip because I wanted to go
take back
on my own and take back my castle.
Right.
What the story behind it is, the John Maxwell, spelled Maccusswell, was given some land to defend Scotland from the English back in the 13th century. And there was a castle built by the Maxwells, and a few stories. One of the stories is that King Edward came over and wanted to siege the castle, and it took 2 days for 3,000 men and I believe it was 57 knights to take the castle. And when they finally took the castle, they realized there were only 60 men inside the castle.
Wow.
So, it's kind of cool. But I wanted to go see the castle and see, kind of where my name came from and whatnot. So I planned a trip. I was looking at some bed and breakfasts in Dumfries, and I found one that was run by Ewan Maxwell. Yeah. But no, wait, it gets better. The address was on Quarry Road in Dumfries, just north of Dumfries, Scotland, on Quarry Road. My parents, Marvin and Sue Maxwell, in Cerulean, Kentucky, just 9 miles outside of Hopkinsville, live on Quarry Road.
Coincidence.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It was really weird.
What was it like? I mean, obviously, you have the namesake and you went to the castle, I assume. Was it cool?
It was really... It was almost emotional because it's something that I always wanted to go see and wanted to go do and experience and whatnot. And you take the bus, because public transportation I love since I've gone to England and Scotland, because that's the greatest invention ever. You pay $1 and they take you 9 miles.
Amazing.
I mean, it's great. But the bus took me from Dumfries 9 miles out to the castle, and the castle was down about 100 yards down this gravel road. And there were trees covering it up, so you got a tree line, so you couldn't see it from where the bus dropped you off. So you had to walk back, and then you actually get out to the castle. I mean, there it stands, out almost in the middle of nowhere, pretty much exactly the same way it was when it was built.
That must have been, amazing to walk up to your own.
Yeah, to your own castle. Yeah, and it was so funny because I walked up and I'm just staring, and the tour guide, or not tour guide, they didn't have tour guides, but they had people that would take your money so you could go visit. Anyway, and I guess he saw this expression on my face, and he's talking to me and whatnot, and I'm like, hey, he's talking to me like he was a Maxwell. So I asked him, I was like, well, what's your last name? He's like, well, it's not Maxwell. He said, what's yours? And I told him, and he's like, oh, we've been waiting on you to build a roof on this thing. And he's like, welcome back, and I started laughing. And he took me around and showed me some different things that not everybody got to see. It wasn't anything that they couldn't see, but it was just something that wasn't thoroughly explained to everyone. And then you go through the kind of tourist shop, and you see they have a little video back in the back that you can watch. And yeah,
That's pretty cool. I mean,
it
that's
was-
awesome. I don't have a castle, so
Yeah,
I'm
it
jealous
was amazing.
officially.
It
Well,
was amazing.
we're running short on time, but
Yeah.
you had mentioned something about some crime, interesting stories.
Oh.
When you first got there, I don't want to give Europe a bad name, but tell us what happened.
Well, one of the cool things, because being from the South, we have guns. They don't have guns.
Right.
I heard, not sure how accurate this is, but that to have a gun to go like fox hunting or something, you have to go and get it out of like a lockbox, check it out, bring it back before dark, or I don't know,
Right.
before a certain amount of time, because you don't get to have guns over there. The cops don't have guns, even though they do drive around vans, and if there's something that happens, they get out, and it's like 50 of them all at once.
Right.
There's cops there. They have over 250,000 video cameras in London.
Right.
Just in
Big
London.
Brother.
Yeah, Big Brother is definitely taking care of them. And they don't have guns, so they don't have shootings. But they do have stabbings,
Well,
which
that's
is
always fun.
Yeah, which is something I did not tell my wife about, because there were 24 stabbings in my little area of London in the first 2 weeks of the trip.
Were they tourists or?
They were targeting teenagers.
Okay.
Don't know why teenagers would have anything of value to rob, an iPod or something.
Right.
But yeah, they weren't going for the little old ladies that looked like they had money or
Yeah.
something. But I was in a relatively nice neighborhood. Jude Law lived a couple miles away.
Right.
I guess that's their claim to fame.
Yeah, I
But
guess.
there's several boroughs, is what they call them. So I guess we would see them as like counties, maybe.
Well, cool. With the exception of the stabbings, it sounds like a fantastic
Yeah.
trip. Anyway, that's our show for the day. I'd like to thank Josh Maxwell again for being here. If you have questions or comments, please send them to the email address at the bottom of the screen, and join us again next time on The Spotlight.